Okay, I've been working here for 5 hours now, so I will go home now and let's see what we will find. I always knew that I wanted to work. I always really liked working, and I wanted to work from a young age. I was sending out resumes, CVs when I was 14. I really wanted to work, and yeah, like I told you, I used to play my violin on the street for money. So that was my first job. I started doing it when I was 10. I would go to the Christmas market with my mom and my sister, and I would play Christmas songs near Chinatown. So that was my first work experience kind of, and I also babysat, watched after young kids. And I always knew that I wanted to live abroad because I'm born in America, I'm raised in America, English is my native language, but my dad is German. And so I always felt this kind of special connection to Europe. Just by chance in my high school in Oregon, I don't know why, but yeah, by chance. My mom had this friend and she would always tell me about her growing up. She had this friend from Norway and they reconnected, and this woman was very, successful, very nice. And so she invited me to live with her for a year. And so I got my student visa, I got all of the things for that. My mom told me that I could do it, but that I had to fix everything myself. And at first it was really difficult to get a job. I didn't have so much work experience. I didn't speak Norwegian. And then my mom's friend that I went to go live with, her name's Teresa, was the warehouse manager at IKEA. She helped me get a job at IKEA with her contacts. So that was my first formal work contract when I was 16. I had this interview there, and really at that point, I was getting really desperate. I was running out of savings, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. If I think I was really at the point where I had less than $1,000 left. I had to pay my rent. I was asking to borrow money and from my friend, and my parents told me when I left, or my mom told me when I left, kind of, if you mess this up, we're not going to be giving you money, because they knew what I was doing was kind of stupid, just going there with no job, no apartment, no nothing. But I went to this interview with so much pressure, and I started crying in the interview so much in front of this. It was an old man, this very serious old Finnish man from Finland with glasses. And I explained to him exactly what was happening to me at that time. And I just broke down crying, and I got the job, and he told me we need people like you that are sympathetic, that are sincere, that have a heart, And so I worked there. I just worked there after school, washing dishes, with the trays and categorizing the cutlery and silverware and everything. So I did that, and I was one year there. I didn't get any support from my parents. They sent me money for Christmas, for my birthday, but $100 for that. I had 1 year of student visa there, and then I moved back to the US. I knew I really wanted to go back. I wanted to get out of the US, also because in the US, it's very expensive to study at university. And I always grew up knowing that my parents wouldn't be able to help me, and that I would have to take out a loan or get a really good scholarship. So I had in my idea, or in my mind, I had this idea that I was gonna go back, finish high school, save up money, and get my German passport, because I had a right to get a German passport. I just never had it. So I did that my last year in high school. I worked, I got my German citizenship, and yeah, then I moved back to when I graduated. Actually, the day I graduated, I had my tickets, and I went straight from my graduation to the airport. I went to my high school graduation with the car, with my suitcases already, with everything to move. And I was really stupid, actually. Looking back, I was so naive and so stupid, because I was moving across the world I had no apartment, no job, no study. I had some, how much did I have in savings? Maybe $4,000, $3,000 I had managed to save up. My plan was to live in Oslo, or to live in Norway, work there, because in Norway you make so much money. It's very expensive, but you make so much money. And that was my plan, to work there, save up money, and then go study in London. I had this like fantasy in my mind of living in London. So I did that. I moved to Norway, and then I saved up money. I got accepted into a design school in London. I studied at Central St. Martin's. It's a famous design school in London. I studied textile design. I really wanted to be like a designer. I went to London when I was 19. I was there only for 7 months. It wasn't that long. My plan was to be there for a lot longer. I had everything registered. I was ready to live in England. But then, yeah, everything got bad for me there, and it was so expensive. It was so expensive. And I wasn't very happy there either. It's very big, London. I didn't know anybody. It's difficult to make friends because it's so big. And for me, every day I was an hour to work, an hour to school. I would go to school in the mornings, and then I would work at night. So I would work from 4 to 12 midnight. And then I would have to go home with the night bus with like drunk British people every day. And no, it wasn't so good for me. When I went from London to Oslo, that was very like an insecure moment. I didn't have any money. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And then also when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, it was maybe the worst moment for me in my life. Because I broke up with him and he went crazy, and he was following me around the city. He was just texting me. He was following my friends. I didn't have a place really to stay, so every week I would go live with a different friend. Right after we broke up, he started dating this other American girl, and then they broke up like I think a year later. And then she started texting me saying all of this stuff about him, like, did he try to control you? Was he also like drinking so much? Was he also like drunk all the time when you guys were together? Did he also make you feel guilty about this stuff? And yeah, it was like that. So my course, my university there was so expensive, and I ran out of money, and I moved back to Oslo, and I borrowed money from everybody. I had credit card debt. I had credit cards in Norway. I had credit cards in the US because I didn't want to ask for my parents. I started working at IKEA again, washing dishes, making food, working in the register, and then I had to kind of figure out what I was going to do with my life. I was 19, 20, so I had to learn Norwegian. I downloaded the Norwegian books from like this random Russian pirate website, and I studied at home by myself Norwegian, and obviously at work I was speaking Norwegian. I had to speak Norwegian to the customers. And then in my university times, I had the opportunity to take Erasmus, go on an Erasmus semester, and I came to Spain. So I did my 1 semester at Complutense, which is one of the best universities in Spain, and I got a job here working. So I was getting the Erasmus money, and then also getting the money from my work. That's how I did it. I'll work in the morning, I'll come home, teach the Chinese kids, and then I'll have lunch, and then I'll work from 4 to 7.
Read the names? What is this, Judy?
Yeah. And then I'll study maybe after 7 o'clock. Maybe I'll go to the gym. Maybe I'll do like make food for the week, something like that. And then on Fridays, I try to have it like my free day, even though I work in the mornings. But I try to do something in the afternoons with friends or with work colleagues. And then in the weekend, I usually work. So I have my first class on Saturdays and Sundays at 10:30. And then I work from 10:30 to 11:30, and then I have like a break. I feel tired, but I know it's temporary. You know, I know that hard work pays off. My parents got divorced when I was 7 years old. So I was seeing my dad at that time like once a week, and then less and less, and with the recession in the US, my mom's a teacher, so we had to move around a lot. I went to 4 elementary schools growing up. We were moving every single year to a new city, a new place, and obviously that made it difficult to see my father as well, but he also didn't really make an effort to come to see us, and my parents don't really talk. They cannot speak. For me, when I was a kid, I was always like the one in between, and for me that's one of the reasons why I wanted to leave, and one of the reasons why I don't maybe go back so much to the US to see my family, because I'm always in the middle. When I was a teenager, maybe I saw my dad like 3 times a year. For many years, we had only a relationship on email, I think. So if you like the video, subscribe below. Dien dien guanchu bun milu. You can also sign up for, or if you have like a little cousin or a little brother, he can sign up for Palfish classes with me. Thank you guys.